Good morning. It's Robert. Hope everybody's good. Hey, John. Good morning. Thanks, Ralph. Good morning. Hi, Sean. Good morning, too. All right, screen share should be up, and the sound should be working in both places, either or. And it's still August. Quiet today. All right, well, SPY's gapping down a little bit. That's something you don't see every day. Uh, Almost a dollar. Well, a little more than a dollar off of yesterday's close. Yeah, $1.50 maybe. So maybe we finally get to the 20 MA daily today, tomorrow. Looks like the 332 range could be in sight. Now, the last time this started was, back August 10th, and we just did a sudden reversal bar right after the red bar. So we'll see, but be on the lookout for that possibility. But all things said, a little bit of a pullback day yesterday, and on the hourly anyway. Let me put my hourly in the gray. There's the hourly. Got basically to the first demand level, but now gapping a little more right to the bottom of that demand level. So 335.62, right about where we're at right now is that hourly low from the 14th. And then the next one to get through, if we continue down, would be this 332. 332 might be the target here. All right, so I'm slightly bearish today for the first time that I can remember, at least on the SPY. And Qs look similar. Qs are more of a, the pattern that's more predictable here. You got the daily buy, hit the target, and now possibly pulling back again. Now the Qs are not gapping down. They're gapping down over the close, but we're right at yesterday's low and slightly above the day before that low. Still, 20 MA would be the 269 area, so there is room. So I'm going to go with lower until anything changes here. Just a few earnings, mostly retail. BJ did phone it in and is gapping up over yesterday's red bar. We got the gap up yesterday. It looked like sympathy to target. And now we're getting another little gap up on BJ. CVAC, I think I got from John's list. Not hopping the bar. Got about 3/4 of it though. New issue. Looks like it's vaccine related, huh? Name like CureVac. Unless it's a carpet sweeper. INTC. I think also came from John's list. This is going to push back one day. I mean, notice it's refused to go lower once, twice, and now over the 49.57 barely. So I still, I mean, I liked Intel higher the day it gapped down. It ended up going lower for a few days and now trying to make a bottoming pattern. So if any time frame could get into an uptrend, above $50 or so, it's not quite there, but if any time frame can get into an uptrend above this base, I like Intel higher whenever that happens. Oh, it's a stock buyback. Well, I'm not sure that would matter so much. I mean, just anything to get the price up would, I think, push the price up more. I'll put it on the list though. I doubt I'll play it, but LB is earnings and gapping just over the prior high, kind of like the BJ. And then Rocket, I forget who called that off the lows the other day, but doing well. And now another gap up, 2260. It's about halfway to the prior high. Looking still higher. And not as much as I'm not into SNPS. This is a beautiful gap. It's been sideways for 2 months, both the daily and the weekly. And now on earnings, we're gapping over the top. You're an RKT ring it? Yeah, looks like doing good. Alrighty, so I say I like SPNS the best, but BJ and LB are similar. They both have earnings and they're both gapping to new highs. Problem is market's gapping down a little and looking as weak as it's been for a while, so might not get the needed help. What did Target end up doing? Yeah, Target still looks higher too. I'm gonna put this back on today's list. Look at that nice base at the high yesterday and now gapping up again. Yeah, Target's got a nice hourly base. I'm gonna put that on the long list too. All right, on the downers. CRK, I think I got this from John's list as well. And I didn't do much scanning today. Nickel spread, well, maybe more. And that's weak. EL all the way to 198. So big fall for EL into demand. This could easily fade, but it's still got room to 90 on the downside. HD reported a couple of days ago. I know a lot of you are short, and it looks lower, at least to 272. MLCO, I'm not even sure that's gapping down. There's a 70-cent spread in that, and it's right about in the middle. I'm gonna skip that. NDSN, $2 spread. This usually tightens up though, and it is sometimes tradable. It just doesn't have a long way to go to the 20 MA anyway. I mean, more supports way down at 191. I'll put it on the list. There's just nothing, not much to watch here. And Nvidia gapping down $3, basically nothing. But it is clearing under the last 2 days. So Nvidia is subject to lower as well. But it's been the strongest. So, if the market does hit some demand, Nvidia could be the first one to turn around. All right, I'm done. We got anything else? Just gonna look at, yeah, nothing there. Oh, Baba was earnings too. I want to put Baba on the down list, and I'll watch it as well. Pin, pin? Nah, must mean something else. OPGN. Yeah, OPGN got a nice gap up. Right, and CN liquidity today. Already 20 mil. All right, well, this is the week I usually go on vacation, so I see why, or next week. This really is beach week. All right, I don't know that I have a favorite here. I mean, I do. It's either BJLB or SNPS. SNPS a little spready so far, I think, to jump into. But let's see how it trades when it opens. CHW week. CHW. Well, it's not that weak. Oh, it's CWH. Yeah, that one's weaker. Gapping down a little bit. Still in a, you know, protected by a daily pivot there. WFC. Yeah, the banks kind of fizzled yesterday, didn't they? Off to a good start, and So far, just a retest. A little under the pivot on JPM anyway. I didn't get back till like after 4. Oh, I didn't see the end of the discussion. Or I did and I didn't know what it was about. But yeah, airlines look like they could have jumped, but like the banks, they didn't. That was the discussion, yeah. All right. I'll turn the mic off a couple of minutes. I'm here. I'm just gonna wait for the open and get set. Be right back. All right, Mike, back on 1 minute on my great chart. I wish I had a down like as good as SNPS or BJ. Nvidia now gapping down $5. So that's likely going to fall. Just about getting risk reward. NDSN now taking some big hits, but $5 spreads. Oh no, not another mask fight. It's like the 747,000 one just today. All right, here we are. We're open. I'd be careful, but I do like a lower. Nvidia would need a lot of room. And Baba just isn't in a good place. NDSN looks a lot like Jack Henry yesterday, and that worked great. But there's a $3 spread. So never mind. And EL, well, another $1.50 spread. I like EL lower. So like SNPS higher. And Rocket is higher. INTC cruising up over 50 on a gap down market day. That's the number. So Intel could be an aggressive long, or a pop up and a pullback could be a nice looking long as well. There's a little pop. Intel, I doubt, cares about the market right now. Well, and the market now trying to set a little initial bottom, so at least we know we're not going to trade straight down. And this is a big spread, but this SNPS looks 205.62 by 204.65, and then there's another 50 cents or more. Yeah, I can't do it, but quick pullback held by the VWAP, set the bottoming tail. If it can trade over the bar, it's a very nice gap. Baba going down. Nvidia, just like it looks. Nordstrom, if it weren't so spready. EL on a sell setup. This has been basing under 159 for a while now. Still a big spread, but this is a nice entry here on EL, short. LB going higher now. BJ not. So LB on a pullback really hadn't gone anywhere yet. The gap is still pretty nice. Nvidia, wow, turned it right around. Nvidia's lower. I mean, that's just a big spread, big stop. DSM lower, EL lower. This thing lower if you can give it high at A plus a little, which is only 7 cents. I like EL on a sell setup. I'm going to try it. Well, I can't. It's too spready. The spread would tighten up to under a quarter. One 195.87 would be the entry. And 187.85 could be the stop. LB zipping. Wow, now it's too late. Well, didn't get the little entry. Had to take the continuation, but target one already. Still like EL. Under 195.50 now. And SNPS, not the entry I like, but we hit demand and now climbing. Spread's down. Well, it's still 40 cents. Intel a little bit too much pullback. Q's trying to fill the gap. Says the SPY. Okay, NDSN, if you can do it, it's good here. And I like EL. I'm just going to do a few shares of EL if I can get in on the ask. I'm just in a little bit of EL. Stop is 198. Target is 190. And if it goes higher, it's a long on EL. And I actually think it's a better fade than a short, but I don't think it's hit the low yet. Nvidia getting bought as suggested. NDSN hidden lower. So that's working too. Y'all gotta see. Rocket higher. All right, so the question here is this the high? Q's filled the gap into resistance. Is this the high? Do we now fall or do we turn and go higher? And then I change my bias. SPY didn't quite fill the gap, but doing the same sell setup, not quite at supply, but close. If doing the NDSN, the 184 looks like a pretty good target. Y'all hit the low a day, but could not break through. Okay, I'm bringing my stop to 197. That's awfully tight to be playing this with, but the thing I'm conscious of is that it's really a long. It just isn't yet. But, if it breaks over 197 then 198, it could easily be a long. So tightening up a little on EL. I know, I know, I know RM. But I don't want to get caught in momentum higher. If it weren't for the fact it's a flip, I'd give it the more room. But there's a chance it's just gonna drop here. That's what I'm playing for. But you're right, it needs a big stop. Target's still bullish. Rocket very bullish. BJ not, and Intel not able to prove anything. OTKR? Or is that out KR? Yeah, got a pretty good hourly buy on KR. Yeah, well, Nvidia was along the whole way. Oh, OTRK. Yeah, that was a nice pop up. Didn't have that. All right, market trying to fail on the small time frame sell setup. That'll tell us something. Also means market stocks may be higher. Another sell setup coming NDSN though. Darn spread is still $1 though. And Nvidia just, like I said, this would be the first to go if the market showed any strength. Apple also participating. Didn't even gap down. Apple going to new all-time highs now. The molasses trade? Like the brown gooey stuff? Okay, come on EL, just drop now. Got the sell set up at the VWAP. There's the buy setup on LB. BJ though, exact opposite. Got a HD continuation short, 2 minute. WFC still looks lower. AMAT. Yeah, it's harder when it gets here with a big gap, but yeah, it's right on the 20 MA. Not exactly the kind of pullback you want to buy, but got a nice 15-minute reversal bar here. So could be a long. Look at all the earnings here. Wow. MLCO made the daily pivot. Huh. Oh, VIPS still falling from yesterday. That JKHY really worked yesterday. Went through support like it wasn't even there. That's what happens when you trade that guy to LA. Target really, I mean, broke out, but still came right back to the hourly base, but still like target higher. Here's the cues. I don't know. So far, strong. I mean, if we get the 5-minute sell, maybe there's be traction. SPY equal high, a little weaker. I'm still thinking lower, but if we get the uptrend going, which is just going to take a higher low and higher high at this point, not going to be able to short anything else. And I thought there were going to be more longs today, but SNPS not going. It was just really been LB and RKT. There's a buy setup on OTRK. And MLCO, if you watched it, yeah, it was hard to get in though. CWH breaking down. Not BJ. Looked like a long. And NDSN. Yeah, NDSN, I mean, was a decent gapper. It's still got a dollar spread and still looks lower. Here's the 5-minute sell setup. All right, I'm gonna go break even on EL. Market's strong. There is a VWAP there, so just over 196. Like I say, I think it's a long anyway. I just thought I could play it down, but I'm gonna get out of EL if it pops here. The pre-market VWAP is 196.16. So I'm going to give it that. But yeah, that's one tick. See, now it got to get out of that. I'm out of EL. It may still work lower, but remember, it was a long, it held the low to the penny, and now it's trying to break some highs. So I take my break even. Well, definitely had it wrong this morning. Yeah, if that ends up being the topping tail, could re-enter this, but whatever NVIDIA does, you fade it. No. Oh, you mean a gap down, so buy it. Yeah. Well, that worked. And Apple cruising to all-time highs. And we've got our uptrend, so not that easy to go long, but I can't do a short now unless this uptrend breaks. Target looking, well, it's late now, but now I'm breaking out yet again. NDSN is working every time if you can get in as a short, but again, I wouldn't enter shorts quite yet. and should have a long. I just never found one. They'll be all the way back. Man, look at that CRK. That came back. EL got all the way to 200. Alta, yeah, it fell down. Hourly 200 MA right here, but BA, yeah, a little weak. GRWG, yeah, that's really weak. All right, might get the 15-minute sell now. Market's been all up so far. Yeah, HD breaking down. New low. Well, except for the open at 279.44. And TJX not in a good position here with regard to the VWAP, but could be soon. It's from the other day. Target and Lazy Boy. All right. Intel showing cell setup now. So's BJ. Yeah, I'd like at least the small time frame uptrend to break, but we are setting up a 15-minute sell right at the supply area. Just isn't much to short here. I thought we'd see some fall early, but couldn't have been more wrong. Market opened on the lows, and that was that. All right, I'm gonna take the early break again. It's just after 10, but I honestly couldn't be more disinterested. I do like HD lower with the rest of you. Still like target higher. And, to a lesser extent, I still like Intel higher, but I thought it'd play on its own, but it's not. I know. Well, one of my biggest weaknesses is and always has been that, you know, when I don't have anything to do, I just find something and do that. And I have a much lower percentage with that kind of play, than when the play's staring at you saying, do me. I do like TJX a little, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to do something like that yet. All right, I'll be right back in a few minutes. I am back. Market hasn't gone anywhere. Sitting on the highs. Just gonna go through my list. Um, EL's still like lower, but had to hold it to 200. It's a tough play like that. But plus, it could be a long if it breaks out. And NDSN still showing great weakness. Just not sure how much this has. I think it's got at least a 184. Stop would have to be like 189.50, so $2 to make three. That's another tough entry. OSTK as a long, as a short. Hourly looks like a long. Daily looks like a short. Yeah, Nvidia really ripped. I thought that might happen if we were bullish, but I didn't have the bullish outlook at the open, so didn't want to jump right in. And yeah, if you took it short, great, but well, I guess you had supply. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we've been trying to go higher and failing. I'm tempted to do this NDSN, even though it doesn't have a lot. Alta's good right here. Yeah, Alta. Hmm. It's 60 cents late, not too bad. I like Alta. It's the daily area again that's the problem, but there's nothing here that I think is necessarily perfect. TJX also weak, and the NDSN. So NDSN, TJX, HD maybe. This GRWG, it's in a day hourly area. Camping World, not bad. Uh, all right, well, if Alta comes back a little, I would take Alta, I think. It's got the 15-minute right now. but it's also right on the 200 MA hourly. Everything's flawed here. Plus, we still have a market uptrend. I mean, I agree. I think we're going to pull down a little, but we don't have any evidence of it. No, no, well, sideways trend possibly now, but certainly no break of uptrend. It's August. Is it August? This is really a good vacation week. So is next week. Enjoy, Tom. Breaks are good, particularly when nothing's happening. I need a beach. RKT is still higher. I mean, there's a little scalpy buy set up here, 2320 by 2285. Oh, wow. Well, attempted is better than the alternative, I guess. Well, because they didn't get it if it's attempted. I hope that's it. Yeah. Yeah, ID theft can be hard because no one believes you. Well, I'm sorry, sir. Your credit report plunged to, 386 last week, so must be your fault. I know the interest rate used to be 4%, but now it's 164%. Apple's higher. My wife's sister worked for a big bank for a lot of years, and I used to always say to her, "How do you sleep at night working for that bank?" She's like, "I like working for the man." And then they downsized her. but with like a year's severance or something. Yeah, that guy, you know. I was getting the the how hard it is to work for yourself lecture, which you know, I've known ever since the beginning, but always found it very satisfying. So it was just a discussion we had one night. All right, here we goes higher, and that is plural because spy, Q's, both going. But I actually at this point have no confidence we're going to go anywhere fast. We're definitely bullish though. That's what I was saying a bit ago. I thought the Qs may fall agreeing with Sean, but the problem is nothing broke. You know, we had to get under this 280, 276.80, and it held. CCJ? Yeah, it does. Needs an entry. It's 6 15-minute bars up, but if it had a 15-minute buy, I'm going to do a little bit of additional scanning. Well, EL can still drop. Just entries. No, I'm not seeing it. Have you got anything great? I see a few things could do, but they're just things to do. There isn't PS finally getting bullish again. If this pulled back and presented an entry right at the VWAP, maybe this one, but it's already basically back to high a day. Sure did like the gap on this one today. Target looks a little overdone now, might fall. I mean, HT's still one of the better looking shorts, but we just proved we're bullish again. And, rocket on a breakout at 11. Intel can't rally. And if it can't rally on a market day like this, it's unlikely it's going to. I thought it might this morning. All right, everything to me has got mixed up time frames. Like one time frame looks good, the other time frame doesn't, and there's not a lot of target. And that's like everything I see has that issue. And if you just bought SNPS on faith in the gap, you're doing it. But other than faith in the gap, it didn't really have anything. Showing it now, though. Apple double top. Yeah. Picking on the strong, though. Q's got a clean new high. SPY really just a peekaboo. All right, I'm gonna walk off again. I don't want to invent a play, which I could easily do. TJX, if it had any room, would be a top one. I mean, NDSN could just short into the VWAP here if it weren't, well, it's not that spready anymore. Again, it doesn't have a lot of room to drop, but you know, if you can catch it tight, the problem is this is not the kind of thing to do tight. But you know, if to take a chance on it here, like 188.20 by 189 or something, it has a low probability of working. And if it does, it's a whopping 2.5 hours or so. Alta's still good, but the re-entry was right there. There's NDSN. I mean, this could be a play. It's not what I'm going to do, but NDSN right here with a stop over the VWAP is by far now the best thing I see. Baba's decent, I guess. Just at the rising 20 on the daily and right in front of a flat 200 hourly. But other than that, it's great. So Baba or NDSN, and I'm just going to walk off. May have hit a high temporarily, but small time frames are all uptrends. So it's very difficult to short unless it's not going to need the market. And what doesn't need the market most days? All right. Any questions? I just tried the one thing, the EL early, and looks like, well, no, it doesn't either. I mean, I tried it, thought I could get the quick drop to the 200 MA, and you know, then just got out break even on this first little pop over the VWAP. Tesla, yeah, it did. Wow, that's a $40 move in 10 minutes. That'll pay your tolls. All right, I'll be back later.